With Canada, new rules, policies, and laws about immigration comes into place from time to time. These new policies or rules can either affect new people or, just bring some form of advantage into, the previous laws on immigration. So that's why in today's video, I would be discussing about the new category-based selection model of the express entry. In my previous video, I've talked about how to, migrate to Canada using the express entry, and it is only normal, or it is only okay for me to also bring to you this new update and what this update is all about in general. Stay tuned. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's another brand new day. It's been a while that you've seen me on here. I am just nurturing my health to a good state and it's so good to be back to posting regularly. For those that do not know me, my name is Suleeha. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber residing in Ontario, Canada. My YouTube channel content spins from lifestyle, daily vlog, and of course, DIY immigration to Canada. If you are just stumbling on my channel for the first time, I say welcome. Please do not forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are a returning subscriber to my YouTube channel, you know how it is. I say thank you for always coming back to watch my video. So let's get right on to today's video. So on the 31st of May 2023, the Canada Immigration Minister Sean Fraser announced the new category-based model of the express entry 2023. And what does that mean? It basically means that this year of 2023, things are going to be a little bit different. And IRCC are going to be focusing on the people that can speak French fluently. If you are that kind of person, getting here. And they are also going to be focusing on people with work experiences in field of healthcare. I'm talking about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And also we have trades such as carpenters, plumbers, and there's so much on the NOC code. We also have agriculture and agri-food professions. Those are the particular fields that have been set aside, particularly for this category-based express entry model. And what does that mean? What does that mean and how is it going to operate? So basically what it means is, let me cast your mind back to the regular express entry. In my previous video, when I talked about express entry, I made mention of the fact that under the express entry program, there's the FSW, Federal Skilled Worker, FST, and also CEC, Canadian Experience Class. And now bringing up this new model is a category-based selection of the express entry. It's basically like a spin-off from the express entry. Everything is going to be in the description box in terms of the link on where to read more about this. So basically what happens is that subsequently there's going to be a draw. There's going to be a draw that will solely focus on this field. It will solely focus on French-speaking people, and it would only focus on people that have work experiences in this field. So if you go online, if you check the link in the description box, I will do my best to try as much as possible to take you through the website to see, how it would look like. What are the NOC codes that have been listed under this particular, field? I will take you around it so that you can see which one do you qualify for it, and how do you go about being able to be picked when, indeed the draw begins. So hi guys, I'm just going to show you how it looks like when you want to access or read more about the express entry round of invitation, the category-based selection. So once you go into the canada.ca website and you click on Immigrate to Canada, you should be able to find the one that talked about the category-based selection. I would also put a link in the description box for you so you can understand better. If you check into that, you would be able to see a brief information about what the category-based selection is all about. You would see that it says that we will invite candidates to apply for permanent residence based on criteria such as ability to communicate in a specific official language, work experience in a specific training, education experience and responsibility category of the NOC, and education. And also, if you remember what I said the other time, I made mention of the fact that it does not hinder the general program or the PMP round. So if you check here, it says that we will continue to invite candidates with a provincial or territorial nominee through general and provincial nominee program specific rounds. That clearly indicates that this does not really stop the general one and also the PMP one. If you take a look down further, and you would see the category chosen for 2023 includes French language proficiency, healthcare occupation, science, technology, engineering and math, which is STEM, occupation, trade occupation, transport and agriculture and agri-food occupation. So these are the category that they would be choosing from when they intend to start the category-based selection of the express entry. And here you would see who is eligible. It says that to be eligible for an invitation through a category-based round, you must meet all the requirements in the instruction for that round. So, like I made mention the other time as well, you would, need to follow through with the instructions as well of express entry. And also, it states further that when we hold a category-based round of invitation, they would always pick rank candidates in the pool who meets the category requirement, and they would invite top ranking candidates to apply for permanent residence. So which was why I made mention of the fact that just because you have 6 month experience or because your NOC is listed does not make you, does not automatically grant you the ability to be picked from the pool just because your NOC is in this. So let's take a look at the STEM, and we'll look at the eligibility. So under STEM, it says that eligibility for STEM, you need to have accumulated within the past 3 years at least 6 months of continuous work experience in Canada or abroad, or abroad in a single occupation listed in the table below. So you must have at least 6 months of continuous work experience within the last 3 years in all of these NOCs below. You must also meet all the requirements in the instruction for that round, for the express entry draw for that round. Also, if you take a look at the STEM, you would see that there's architect, there's computer engineer, there's cybersecurity specialist, there is electrical and electronics engineer. If you take a look, just take a look at it to see which one that you fall under: mathematician, statistician and actuaries. If you also take a look at the third one, you would see web designer, web developer and programmers. So let's just take a look at what French language is saying. So it says to be eligible for the French language proficiency category, you must have French language test results that shows a minimum score of 7 in all 4 languages, abilities on the niveau de compétence linguistique Canadians. I don't know what that is, but at least it says that you must show a minimum of 7 in all 4 languages. So you must also meet the requirement in the instructions for that round. This is pretty much swift for people that that have French as their second language or they understand French very well. So let's just take a look at transport. If we take a look at transport, you see transport truck drivers, railway carmen or woman, you would see deck officers and water transport. Let's take a look at Greek, and you see there are just 3 things under the NOC for agriculture. We have contractors and supervisor, landscape grounds, maintenance and horticulture services, agricultural services contractor and farm supervisor. butchers, retail and wholesales. That's so impressive. And finally, let's just take a look at the healthcare sector. It also says that you must have accumulated within 3 years at least 6 months of continuous work experience in Canada or abroad in a single occupation listed in the table below. And if you take a look at the NOCs under healthcare, we have audiologist and speech language pathologist, chiroprators. We have dentist, dentician, nutritionist, education counselor, GPs and family physicians. That's impressive. We also have licensed practical nurses, massage therapists. We have medical laboratory technologists, medical radiation technologists. We have medical sonographers, nurse practitioners. That is impressive. We also have nursing coordinators and supervisors, nurse aides, orderlies, and patient service associates. This is so impressive because I really didn't think that nurse had it so easy to come here to practice. I'm pretty sure that when they get here, they will still need to do some further things. We also have optometrists and lots more like that. You see pharmacy technical assistant and pharmacy assistant, which is great. Physiotherapists and psychologists, registered nurses and registered psychiatric nurses. This is so good. So basically you just need to check which one under which NOC you fall, and just to see what you need to do next. It's very important to note that this is a very, very new program. It's a very, very new initiative by the minister. I think it has been in talks before now, sometime back in 2022, and now it's been passed into law. And we do not know when exactly the draws are going to start happening. Probably in the summer or probably sometimes later in the year. They are going to be doing a specific category based draw, which is different from the general draw that happens from time to time, and also from the regular PMP draws. So when this draw happens, they are strictly going to be picking from the categories that have been listed, on the website. And not just that, you must follow stricto sensu all the instructions of the express entry. Basically, you must also create an express entry profile before you can be picked for the category-based model of the express entry. So, like I like to tell people, because we do not know when this is going to kickstart, it is always advisable to prepare yourself, be ready, because you do not know that just by having this NOC code, or probably you've been in the pool for a very long time waiting to be singled out, and just because you have an experience in this, when a category based draw is being done, you might be lucky to be picked. So it is always good to position yourself, because you do not know when these things would happen. The next thing that I would also like to talk about is the fact that would this new category based model of express entry in 2023, would it affect other programs? And I can categorically tell you that it would not affect other programs, because even on the website, if you look at the website, it says that it is just it's a new model. It doesn't affect the general program. Basically says that the category based model of the express entry, it adds up to the general program. So you can see that it says that it had up to the general program, and top ranking candidates are picked to help the government meet their specific needs, to meet their economic and market needs. So basically, the government are trying to do some sort of things that would favor the Canadian government, as opposed to just the general public just coming into Canada. So this subcategorized work NOC codes are the ones that the Canadian government feel that there's a need for more of these people in Canada, hence why it is being subcategorized. We do not know further in the future whether new NOC codes would be added, but as of now, these are the NOC codes that we have. So what do I think would happen, and what impact would it have on the previous programs of express entry? Basically, what I think, in my opinion, like I said, I'm not a licensed immigration officer, but looking at the laws and looking at the instructions that's out, what I think is the fact that it would impact greatly on the previous programs, in the sense that there might be lesser draws and the CRS score would become really, really high and highly competitive, in the sense that because there's now going to be a category-based selection of express entry, what then happens to other NOC codes that have been waiting to be picked? What happened becomes, it becomes highly competitive. The draws become extra high. We've been seeing 480, 490. They could up the score to be 500. We never can tell what happens. But looking at the impact of this new common category based model of express entry, that might be the impact that it would have on other programs. The PMP stands because it's a totally different one. It's not a branch of the express entry program. It stands on its own. What are the eligibility requirements for this particular category based selection? The eligibility requirements, first and foremost, states that your NOC code must be in one of the fields, work experience fields and all of that. And you must meet up to the instructions of that round. You must be able to follow through with all the instructions of that round. And aside from that, you must comply with all instructions and every single information as it relates to express entry. So you cannot bypass anything. You still need to check your eligibility, whether it's 67 over 100. You still need to do your IELTS general. You still need to comply and make sure that you have the requisite work experience as it relates to express entry. So you see that you cannot just jump the gun just because this is a new category based model. It's still going to follow through because it's an offspring of the express entry. What is different about this under the eligibility requirements is the fact that under this new category based selection model, you must have a 6 months of work experience in the priority occupation, basically in your priority occupation. Say, for example, under the STEM, which is the science, technology, engineering, and math, you say that you are a web designer, because I know that the web designer is part of the NOCs. You must have at least 6 months of work experience in that field. But I think that this is a little bit confusing, because if you take a look at express entry, you would see that if you are complying with the rules and regulation of express entry, it says that the minimum work experience that you must have in a primary NOC is 1 year. Why this is saying that you just need 6 months work experience as a minimum for you to be picked from the pool. What I would just advise in this instance is that whether it's 6 months, whether it's 1 year, please just get into the pool and make sure that you prioritize the main NOC's work experience in this field. Whether it's 1 year or 6 months experience that you have, just make sure that it is the topmost NOC that you are picking and you are applying from. So you are not cut off or cut short from the fact that you do not have, enough work experience to be able to meet up to this category-based selection. Very important to know that with express entry, when you create your profile, you know that if you have 1 year experience, it reduces your score. 2 years and 3 years increases your score further. So I would always advise that whether it's 1 year that you have, if you're coming from a place like Nigeria and you have 1 year experience, put that at the topmost of your work experiences, so you qualify when they are picking the top ranking candidate. Because if you have just 6 months of work experience, it would reduce your score as the primary NOC that is being picked for this category based selection. So just make sure to all your work experiences are uptight, are listed, so that when they are picking, you stand a chance to be picked from the top ranking candidate. So how do you apply for this category-based selection? There are just few things that you need to do. You need to create an express entry profile. That is, follow the rules and regulation of creating an express entry profile. Evaluate your results, do your IELTS, and then create an express entry profile. Once you create an express entry profile, fill in all your information, fill in all your NOC codes, and then make sure that you put your work experiences as the top of your list. Like your primary NOC should be what is in this field that has been subcategorized. So once you do all of that, you just wait for a draw to be done, and then hope to be picked with your score, hope to be one of the top candidates in the pool. There's nothing much to it, as it is just an add-up of the express entry profile. So it doesn't really deviate away from the express entry profile. I'm gonna put a link to my previous video right up here. You can look at the video and look at how to create an express entry profile, how to begin the process of express entry. Basically, I'm gonna put the link up here. So once you watch that, just know that the only thing that you need to do for this category based selection is to position yourself in such a way that you are picked when the subcategories are being done in the draw. So what happens to people that, their NOC is not listed, their NOC is not categorized in the new category-based selection? What happens to them? What's the way forward for them? My own advice and my own take, looking at the situation of things and looking at the new category-based selection, is the fact that create your profile, get into the pool. Do not let this new model, or do not let this new category-based stop you from actually doing what you need to do. So look for ways to boost up your CRS score, whether it is learning French, whether it is obtaining a master's degree, whether it is doing some short form of courses, or at most whether it is even getting married. Look for pathways to boost your score and remain in the pool, so that when they do the general express entry draw, you are sure that you would be picked from that draw because you are still in the pool, you have a great score, and you are looking for ways to boost your score the most. So I wouldn't totally say that it would write off those people that their NOC codes are not listed on this new category-based selection. What I feel would happen is the fact that they would just need to, it will take a little while. It will take much more longer than it used to be. So, and perseverance is all it takes. Just be in the pool, boost your score however you can, and just hope that a general draw is done and your score meets up to the new draw that is being done. So don't look at the fact that the category based selection does not favor you, but look onto the bright side by just trying to remain in the pool and boosting your score to meet up to any draw that would take place in the general category of express entry program. They also say that if you can position yourself in such a way that when even PMP draws are being done, you could be fortunate to get picked in the PMP draw, because we've had times when PMP selection was the only one that was done, candidates with PMP were the only one that were picked, and we've had situation where it was just FSW, and now with the coming of the category based draw. So we cannot say that this is when or this is what type of draw that would happen at a single time. So position yourself well in such a way that by the time a draw is being done, you would certainly be up to that. So in conclusion, guys, this is a very great news for some, of course, and for some it is not so great, because it would further reduce their chances of getting to where they should. But what I would just say, like I always say, is to make sure to position yourself in such a way that when things happen, you are there, you are not left out. Don't delay further. I've seen some people who have been waiting so far in the pool. They are software developers, they are web designers. Please take advantage of this new category based selection. Look at your profile, position yourself in such a way that when things happen, you will surely be picked from the pool. And for people that are still waiting to be picked, their NOCs are not listed in the category based one. Just hang in there and keep looking for ways to boost your CRS score, so that by the time the general draw is being done, like I said, the general is not affected. That's the general express entry draw program. It's not affected. Anytime FSW regular is being done, it would certainly still revert back to the top candidate with the highest number in the pool. So position yourself well, do what you need to do to increase your score. Do not delay. Do not think that something else would happen that might favor you. Like I said, new policies and new law keep coming out from time to time. So if you do not want to be left behind, just do the needful and then hope and pray to God to be picked. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate, and I will see you guys back in my next video. Bye.